Good evening, folks. It's great to see you all. My name is Casey Halpern, and I'm excited to host ProfitDuel first ever. Oh, there's some background noise. Hold on. Where did that come from? Some technical difficulties. Hold on. Where were we? Well, it's great to see you all. If you're new here, I highly recommend you don't listen to a word that comes out of my mouth. But I'm thrilled to welcome my friend and former colleague, Ryan Bornemann of Pikkit Sports, and Kenny Kim of the Fantasy Golf Degenerates Podcast. Kenny's a must-follow on Twitter and a must-listen every week if you want to get better at golf betting. So I highly recommend you give him a listen. Fellas, it's great to have you. Kenny, how you doing?
Good, man. Casey, Ryan, thanks for having me on. Looking forward to talk a little bit about the Masters, favorite week of the year. It should be fun.
I'm excited. Always good to see you. We finally have a professional in the room with us.
I'm definitely not a professional. Far from it. Far from it.
You're more sophisticated when it comes to betting golf than Ryan and I are. How about that?
I don't even know about that, man. I just pick who I think is going to win. That's it. I am probably one of the more least sophisticated betting guys out there. I rely on numbers and stuff like that. But a lot of the time, like you were saying before, you can catch a lot of stuff just by watching a lot of golf.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was on Spawn last week because of not betting wise, but on DFS. He was my hustler play of the week. I do this thing where I do a hustler play of the week, a low owned, high upside play in DFS, right? And, it was just basically because I saw him in a featured group at the Players for like 12 holes, and the guy looked like last year. It was as simple as that. It doesn't have to be all data-driven, analytics, numbers, It could just be you watching a lot of golf and seeing guys maybe pick up a little steam heading into a week. Sometimes that's all it takes.
You are right, because that's actually how I found myself on Aubert at Bay Hill. His last round, I believe it was at Riv. He really started to find himself on the weekend. He didn't obviously win, but I believe he came in third. That was a good each way that we made, me and my friend. But he went off at like 45-1 because his form was awful going into it. But like those last 36 holes, you saw him start to obviously return to his kind of elite form. And he's probably someone we might discuss here in a bit. But for those watching at home, let's quickly set the scene for anyone who might live under a rock. Augusta National Golf Club in Georgia hosts the Masters every single year. It's the Super Bowl of golf. Par 72, 7,500 plus yards, 4 reachable risk-reward par 5s, and the players who take advantage of those, honestly, are typically the ones who are going to be swarming the winner's circle on Sunday. The par 4s are long, 3 of them playing just a shade under 500 yards. The green complexes are brutal. Augusta is as big of a test as they come on tour. We're not at La Quinta Country Club anymore. I'll tell you that much. With all that said, Kenny, I want to kick it to you. What type of golfer do you look to build your betting and DFS cards around at Augusta?
I mean, for this week, what it's looking like, with the fast and firm conditions, it'd be nice if we get this every year. But a lot of times, Augusta gets a lot of rain this time of year. It sort of softens everything, even with their sub-air system that they have. But I think it's going to be crispy out there this week. I like proven guys. Basically, I stray towards longer hitters. They got to be decent to above average minimum around the greens. Basically stuff like that. And I put a lot more emphasis on recent form. I know, like my co-host Byron, he puts a lot of his on long-term form. For me, I'm a recent form guy. I like to go get guys who are hot.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Sounds good to me. Ryan, do you have anything to add to that on who you're looking to build your card around?
No, it's funny because I was just listening to Kenny start, and we're like the exact opposite. I don't watch a ton of golf. I'm strictly a numbers guy. I'm just looking at the numbers, and I'll tune in. You'll catch me tuning in the tail end of Sundays for some of these tournaments, but And maybe every once in a while on the first round on Thursday, if I have a first round leader bet out there, but very rarely do I check in on Friday and Saturday of a golf tournament. I will this weekend, but I'm strictly a numbers guy. Just play the odds. I do pretty much the opposite of you. I let the odds tell me who's the hot hand right now.
Well, perfect segue, because we're going to start off with our first round leader bet. So I'm going to kick it right back to you. What do you got for us? Who do you like on Thursday to start leading the pack?
Are you kicking to me or Kenny here?
I'm kicking it right to you. You're setting the tone here from the jump.
Right to me. I mean, there's the two guys that are like middle of the pack. I think that I'm taking for first round leader bets this week. I believe I'm pulling up the odds right now. I wrote it down. I'm just going to make sure it's still the same. I took someone we bet on before on the show, Casey, Siwoo Kim. I think he was plus 5,500 on FanDuel for first round leader. He's a kind of a middle of the pack sort of guy. I feel like the low odds guys since we've been betting this season have not been winning the first round. It ends up being someone who's a little bit of a longer odds play or middle of the pack there. So I'm rolling with my first one is going to be Siwoo Kim. I think he's plus 5,500 right now, unless I'm missing it. And he might have dropped actually. I'm seeing 54.
I mean, Siwoo's been having a really good start this season. 4 top 10s. He just cannot putt for shit, but he's actually been a better putter at Augusta. But you are right in the fact that first round leaders typically you can find some guys down the leaderboard. I will say though, at the Masters, it's usually that you still get the cream of the crop on day one. But I do like Siwoo Kim, and I was actually looking at that on Data Golf before.
Oh, I didn't even get the data golf info here. The other one I've got is I don't know how he looks on Data Golf. Usually me and you do a little Data Golf spin on Mondays to see who they like and what the deal is. But the other one was Justin Rose. I think he was 36-1 on DraftKings. So those are the two like mid-tier guys that I'm taking out. After that we'll kick to Kenny, and I'll give my long shots after because I definitely want to go down the card for a little bit of a sprinkle here as well.
Yeah, I normally don't bet first round leaders, but I did for this week. It is the Masters. I have one. I'm going Nikolai Højgaard, 50-1 with 5 places each way for the first round leader. You look at Nikolai, he's been having a pretty decent season. Second in Houston the last time he was out, and they sort of try and make Houston as close to Augusta National as possible for the guys that are playing it. He had a 62 and 63 on Friday and Saturday. He can go low. He in my model that I have, he's in the top 10, and that's pretty substantial because this is one of the better fields that there are. Of course, I'm using 24 rounds of data. That's it. And so recently he has been one of the top 10 guys out there playing exceptionally well. I'm going to go ahead and go Nikolai Højgaard, 50-1 with 5 places as my first round leader bet.
And for the folks that are watching at home, Kenny, who might not know, what does the 5 places mean?
Okay, so this is each way betting. In different books offer each way betting, depends on what state and what books you have. I use Bet365 for me. We get that in Virginia, and they have this thing called each way betting, where you're betting a guy twice. So say somebody's 100-1, and you're betting them 5 places each way. Okay, so then you're going to put $10 on the 100-1, and you're going to put $10 on the each way. It doubles your bet when you bet each ways. And so if he doesn't win, if he wins, you get your outright money and you get the each way money. If he just finishes top 5, like second through 5th, you get with 5 places, you get 25% of his total outright. So you'll get 25-1 for finishing in the top 5. Now, if he's tied for 5th, there's dead heat rules and stuff like that. But for me, I'm not doing gambling. I'm not doing betting. I'm not doing DFS to get rich, right? I'm doing it because it's fun. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. But the thing is, I have to do it so I don't lose money every week, right? And outright betting is difficult. I mean, we were talking about this earlier. I mean, if you're a 15% winner, if you pick 15% right in a year, you are like one of the top cappers out there, right? You're very, very solid. That's how difficult it is. 7 out of 42, 43 events, right? It's a difficult thing. And so it's very easy to lose all your money. And, I do well, but I can't lose hundreds of dollars every single week. So what the each way betting does, it's sort of a cushion, right? Like if you don't hit the outright, I usually do 8 places each way. So if the guy finishes in the top 8, you're getting some money back. You're basically almost getting the money that you put in for the week, right? And that's the way I gamble, because I want to be able to gamble every week forever. And there's going to be some times where you're not going to hit outrights for a long, extended period of time. And, a lot of people will just give up after that because they can't afford to keep betting, right? I try to win minimum like $1,500 with every bet that I win, right? Because, it's not life-changing money, but, $1,000 is $1,000. That'll help, right?
Yep.
And so that's why I go about using the each way process. That's why I play cash games like double ups and stuff in DFS. It's so I can extend the length of me being able to gamble. Basically,
it makes sense. It's the prudent way to go about it. And look, in New York, the only way I could each way bet is on rivers, and sometimes they won't even take all the action, right? But whenever I place an outright, I'm usually doing each way 1 to 6 places. So you just described it perfectly. So thank you for that. And you also stole my thunder a bit. I'm going with Nikolai Højgaard at 50 to 1 for first round leader. I'm just looking for guys who can basically post those spike rounds. And Højgaard can get hot in a hurry. He actually ranks number 1 in birdie or better percentage at Augusta National. Granted, it is a limited sample. It's only his 3rd start here. But the upside is very real. And if I'm looking to take a bigger swing, I'll probably sprinkle a little on a guy like Adam Scott or Michael Kim. But I'm also eyeing Min-Woo Lee at 40 to 1, Dr. Chapinski, another guy who can just get cooking in a hurry. He's 2nd on tour this season in birdie or better percentage. So that's probably going to be my first round leader card. And Kenny, someone says, I like the way you do business, Kenny. So I guess he means he's appreciative of how you just described each way betting. So thank you for that. What if he withdraws? Well, if you have a outright and the person withdraws or any bet, as long as he doesn't tee off, your bet will void. If he tees off, I'm sorry, you're shit out of luck mostly. So just be mindful of that. That's how betting works. Obviously, all the different sports books are a bit different with their refunds and stuff like that, and kind of that insurance stuff. But let's talk a little about kind of your favorite either round 1 matchup or tournament matchup. Kenny, I see you just lit up, so perfect time to spark this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, again, not normally a prop guy, but it's the Masters. We're doing it. I normally stick with outrights, but I have one matchup, tourney matchup that I like a lot this week. It's going to be Jason Day over Sepp Straka at plus 100.
Fuck Sepp Straka, first of all.
What's up?
Fuck Sepp Straka.
I'm guessing he lost something for you recently.
Yeah, I took him last week, and me and my friends, we try and tether just a few long shots with a few Masters bets, and he was an important piece of it, and he just absolutely cooked us. But go on.
Yeah, well, when it comes to this week with the fast and firm, crispy conditions that we're going to see, I like Jason Day's ball flight. He hits it super high up in the air, which I think will be helpful. Also, if you think about it, his short game and putting is in the top echelon of the PGA Tour. You're going to need to be able to get it up and down at this, and I think he's going to do a better job than Sepp Straka at that. Sepp had, I think, a 14th place finish at the Masters a couple of years ago, but his overall major track record isn't that great. And then Day, of course, is a former major winner, top 10 last year at the Masters, top 10 last week or last time he played. So he's coming in with good form. He is the underdog. Straka's minus 20 to beat minus 120 to beat Day. So I'm going to take the underdog here. I'm going to take Jason Day plus 100 over Sepp Straka for a tourney matchup.
I like that. Jason Day's electric around the greens, obviously. He's got some funky outfits. I'm not sure how that actually gets allowed to be worn at Augusta, but That's not my call. I'm sure Fred Ridley probably is scoffing when he sees him show up in those bird shirts, but that's a him problem. Ryan, what are you looking at in tournament or pro?
This one, honestly, Casey, I'm going to just have to kick back over to you. This is the one that I didn't find for the show today. Unfortunately, I was looking at the matchups and I didn't find anything that I really loved out the gate when I was looking today. So I actually was passing on this one until I kind of heard from you guys and did a little bit more line shopping. So I don't have one specifically, unfortunately. So I got a shot on everything else, but this is the one I just couldn't find one that I wanted to pull the trigger on, unfortunately. So
all right, well,
I have to pass here.
I've got something disgusting. We're getting up bright and early on Thursday, right after the honorary starters' first tee shots. I'm looking at a round one matchup. Haotong Li minus 115 over Sami Valimaki. Full disclosure, I don't have a ton of conviction on this one. Just hear me out. Lee is one of the first guys out on the course on Thursday morning, and it's going to be very windy. He's quietly really, really good in those tough, windy conditions. Notably, he was the first-round leader at this summer's Open Championship, and I believe he finished in either second or third place. So he can really flush it when there's a lot of teeth on the golf course. Valimaki, he doesn't fare so well in the wind. And honestly, I'm just a bit biased because I got to hang out with Haotong Li back in December. So I just want to bet to root for the guy.
How was that? He seems like a cool motherfucker.
He is a cool motherfucker. That guy has a lot of personality.
He's hilarious.
He's a character.
Yeah.
So really good dude. I have bet on him a bunch in the early part of the PGA schedule. It hasn't quite worked out well just yet, but he's due. He's going to break through at one of these events, probably in the lesser big ones down the road in the summer. But yeah, I'm looking at him round one over Sami Valimaki.
We've got I think me and Casey had a stream a couple months ago, Kenny, too. I think Casey had a nice good rant about how good of a guy Haotong Li was. So we got to shoot you over that video so you could watch it. It's pretty good.
Also, I got to hang out with Rory and Shane Lowry. Both are excellent guys too. So
where'd you hang out with them?
I went to the golf games in Florida in Jupiter.
Okay. That was actually fun to watch.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. It was great to be there.
I was surprised.
Got pretty lit up. It was nice. We had some really cool access. So got to hang out with those guys for like the hour before they actually had to go start doing whatever they did and before they played. But yeah, me and Haotong Li, we were like this that night. Kenny, the GOAT, what's up, boys? What's going on, Notes 105? Let's shift to props here and kind of talk about either your favorite prop or some of your favorite finishing position plays. I've got two I want to share, but I'll kick it to Ryan first.
Okay, yeah. This is again. I'm strictly an odds guy here too. So I'm gonna go. I'll give you a top 5, a top 10, and then I have a top 20. I have a top 20 parlay as well. Here, which is segues a little bit into the DraftKings boost that they've got. So I'll run that down for you. My first one is actually Matt Fitzpatrick to finish top 5, and that's plus 465 on DraftKings. And my reasoning here is I look at just the market across the board here, and you can see the next best odds I'm seeing are FanDuel at plus 430, and then pretty much everything else is like plus 400 or below. I think Novig has them at plus 395, and ProfitX has them in the plus 300s as well. So I think we're getting a little bit of value on DraftKings and Fitzpatrick here. So that's a little bit of insight into how I'm looking for my plays. Just I think that number is probably going to close closer to plus 400. So we get a little bit of an edge there, and that's my first play. So plus 465 Matt Fitzpatrick for top 5 finish.
That would be nice. Kenny, you got anything?
Yeah, I got a top 20 parlay, including ties. It pays out plus 1046. It's going to be Xander, Fitz, Cam Young, and Patrick Reed to all finish in the top 20, including ties. I'm going to parlay all 4 of them for basically 10.5 to 1.
And I think there's a DraftKings boost out there on those top finishing position parlays. So I'm going to take that actually right after this and apply the boost. So I'm joining you. For my prop, I'm going with, I've got 2. First one, Jacob Bridgman, top debutant. plus 650. Full disclosure, I'm probably a bit biased here. I was on him at Riviera and got a win there. And Riv is the course that profiles most similarly to Augusta on tour. There's been a lot of talk about Chris Gotterup as the top debutant, and honestly, rightfully so. But I feel like Bridgman is just getting overlooked a bit here. He's the current FedEx Cup points leader. He grew up 2 hours from Augusta, and I'm going to take that number all day, plus 650. So that's just pretty much where my head's at there. My
plus
second one
for a top 20?
No, for a top debutant.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, okay.
And then second one, Patrick Reed, top 20, plus 140. The guy is just a machine at Augusta. It's his 12th Masters start, and he's finished top 20 in half of them, and that's without even cracking the top 20 in his first 3. So once he finally got that monkey off his back in 2018 when he won, he's kind of just been automatic. 2 wins and a second-place finish in 3 DP World Tour events to start the season. He punched his ticket back on the PGA Tour. I think he's going to have a really, really good 4-day stretch here at Augusta, and I'll take him at top 20 plus odds any day of the week at Augusta.
Yeah, I mean, to piggyback off you guys, I'll give my DraftKings boost play that I built up. It also surprisingly is also Matt Fitzpatrick in there, just like you mentioned, Xander, and then I've got Hogard as my third one, which is, if you can get it at plus 675, I'm seeing right now. So with my 20% boost, it's plus 810. So that's the top 20 play that I'm rolling with. That's including Tyus on DraftKings. So that's the top 20 play that I'm rolling with boosted. So that's 50 to win 455 for me. So that's my pick for this one.
All right. If no one else has another prop, let's start talking about the big ones. The big fish. Let's try and catch one here. Kenny, you're going for 4 and 5 events, outright picks. I want 3 from each and every single one of you. Your favorite, obviously, it could be chalk, your mid-range look, and a potential long shot. Kenny, you want to lead us off?
Yeah, I mean, the only long shot I have, I'm not really betting it. I literally just added him because I'm overexposed, but it's the Masters. But the number was too good. It's going to be Colin Morikawa 66 to 1 win only. Everyone's off him. No one's betting him. That's why we got the boost. I think it went from 42 to 1 to 66 to 1. This is on Bet365. I just saw the number and I clicked it. I had already made my card. I'm right at my limit for the week when it comes to outrights, but I spent the extra $25 to bet him win only for Morikawa, because outside of his injury, the guy's been playing good golf.
He's been playing
The guy's been playing good golf, and if we've seen it before with Morikawa, and it was more about him talking about how he didn't really like playing links golf, right, at the 2021 Open Championship, where he didn't like the way his club felt hitting the ground at whatever course they play it at. Everybody was off of him, and then he ended up winning. So, I'm thinking maybe I'm getting those vibes again from him. He's coming out. Hopefully he's out there and he can play well. He says he's day to day. So it's definitely a risk, but that's why you're getting 66 to 1 for a guy of his ilk. I'll go ahead and play that. And then I have 4. Go ahead.
If I had Bet365, I would definitely be on that with you, because that's too good of a number for a golfer of his stature. And look, if his back does hold up, that could be an incredible bet come Sunday.
Yeah,
I had to do it.
I see only 35 to 1 now too. So I mean, that's a really, really, really good number. I'm just looking across the board on the.
Yeah, they didn't even limit me.
Yeah,
you could bet whatever you wanted on that.
Yeah, they didn't limit you yet, but in the future you might be fucked now.
No, I'm not good enough to be limited. But I mean, usually on those boosts, they I guess maybe $50 would be the max. I only bet 25. So, but that's still $1,600, $1,700, right? To win at 66 to 1. So I'll go ahead and take that. But the rest of my card is basically just favorites. It's Augusta. You don't see too many long shots win. I think 12 of the last 14 golfers have been ranked inside the top. Actually, I think 14 out of 14 golfers have been ranked inside the top 25 in the world golf rankings when they won this event. I'm pretty sure it's 14 of the last 14. Even Willett, I think, was like 23rd or 19th or something like that, even when he won. So I don't really like betting long shots here. So it's just basically been favorites. I got 4 guys up top that I'm betting. It's going to be Jon Rahm at 11-1. It's going to be Xander at 17-1. Both of those are win only. And then on Bet365, if you do 3 places each way, they boost up your odds. So I took Matthew Fitzpatrick 25-1 with 3 places, and Cam Young 25-1 with 3 places. Basically, these 4 golfers have been playing the best leading up to this event the last 6 weeks. Outside of Bryson, these have been the best golfers on tour or in golf. I'm not really overthinking it. Like if you look at the last 4 winners, Rory, Scotty, Rahm, Rory, all of them were the best golfers on the planet for the 3 months leading up to the event.
That is true.
So I'm basically not overthinking it. I'm just taking it simple. I don't care if they're chalk. I don't care if everybody's betting these people. I don't care. I just want to win, and I think one of these 4 wins.
I hope your mouth to God's ears, because I have in the last 6 weeks or so, I've actually loaded up on a few futures. So I've been my card. Like now for the week is very small. I have Matt Fitzpatrick at average odds of 60-1 and Jon Rahm at 24-1. So I'm going to stick with those guys here. Jon Rahm. Yeah, I got 60-1 on Fitzpatrick. I've taken
23-1 now. That's what I just took him at right before the show.
I took him at the Players and right before it. I also had him at the Players against Cam Young, so those are pretty devastating. But look,
you have a lot of
hopefully he could catch that second winner in his second straight start here. But Jon Rahm, I really like. He's obviously now under 10-1, but Jon Rahm has been statistically the best player on planet Earth in 2026, gaining 2.7 strokes per round. He's gaining over 2 strokes tee to green. And if he were on the PGA Tour, he'd rank top 10 in approach. I think Rahm probably does have the best chance of getting his second green jacket this week of the guys I have bet. But I also did place a few sprinkles on Patrick Reed at 44-1. We just talked about him. He's won before here. He's rounding into form, and that number I just find too high for a guy like him with his Augusta track record. And a longer shot, also a future I made last month. Look, these futures I also made are probably just going to go right on my fridge, and I'm going to take that CLV and have nothing to show for it. But I'll hang them with pride, hang them in the rafters, and I got Adam Scott at 80-1, another future. He's won here before also, so he's looking for his second green jacket. His ball speed is actually increasing despite him getting older, which is kind of wild. And he finished 4th at the Genesis at Riv earlier this season, which, as I said, a very comparable track to Augusta. I think he could be this year's Justin Rose and really give put some pressure on the top of the leaderboard. But as you said, Kenny, this is the Masters. Of the 4 majors, this is the one where I have the hardest time seeing a true long shot actually win. History backs that up. So an 80-1 like Scott, even with his pedigree here, feels like I'm asking for a lot to happen, and that's probably like the bottom of where I'd go on the betting board.
I have a future on him at 70-1.
Let's do it. So let's hopefully get home Fitz, Scott, or John. How about that?
Yeah, I'm also, like I just said, I'm also going along with the theme. I've got Fitz in my top 20 parlay, in my top 5 at outright top 5, and I also have him outright too. So it seems like all 3 of us are in agreement that it'd be nice if he could pull it out, and you guys got some nice numbers on him. I didn't get quite as good a number as the 60-1 or whatever it is. Or no, that was Morikawa. Sorry, but my middle of the pack guy, I'm going right back to the other guy that we had mentioned, Casey. I'm taking Siwoo Kim at plus 5,500 on FanDuel, I think it is. So he's my middle of the pack guy. I think we talked about him earlier. He's one of the few guys that we feature on the show pretty often. I think we have a conversation about every time we talk about golf. So he might just be top of mind for me, but I'm hoping he's played good golf. I'm hoping he could potentially shine through here. We'll see. But like we just said, it's a tough situation. My super long shot, I don't even know if I know how to pronounce this guy's name right, but his odds are 360 to 1. It's Aldrich Potgieter. How do I say his name? Podgieter. Yeah, he is 360 to 1 or 360,000 to 1, something absurd. His next best odds are like 250,000 to 1 or 250 to 1 or whatever it might be, plus 25, 250. And that's my one long shot that I'm taking here. I mean, it's literally like 10 to win 3.6K. So we'll roll with that, but that's on DK. That's my one long shot that I've got. But the lower odds play here I've got is Fitzpatrick with you guys as well.
I mean, Pock Eater, look, there is definitely a path for him to win. I just don't know if his around the green prowess here at Augusta is going to put him in that winner circle or that Sunday conversation. But I can see him cracking the top 10 here. Again, he did have a really strong showing at Riv, which is a comparable track. This isn't his first Masters, actually. He played here in 2023, I believe, and got cut. But if you want an absolute bomber, that is your guy. He can make this course into what Bryson said, a par 67. That guy hits the living shit out of the golf ball. He's a big fella, man. He could crush it. So I'm a big Potter fan.
All right, we'll take it then.
Maybe we'll add his placements to our card. Kenny, I'm going to hop on Xander with you as well. So I'm going to basically have the same card as you.
I mean, the thing about Xander is, here's the thing, like, a lot of people, when they talk about the Masters, say they want to be peaking at the right time. Right. It seems like Xander is peaking at the right time. He's had 3 top 10s in his last 4 events. Each one, I know he's gained 2 or more strokes on the field in 3 of his last 4. Every facet of his game, he's been gaining. He has a good short game. He could putt when he really wanted to. His iron game. I mean, he has all the tools. And I feel like he's peaking at the right time.
I agree. And he's won 2 majors now. Like he's coming into the Masters where he's shown out before in a big boy event, right? It's no longer the pre-2024 Xander where it's like, oh, can he finally get the job done at one of the big 4 events? Like he showed it. He did it twice in 2024. Last year he was hurt. This year I think he missed the first 2 events or first few, and he's just been rounding into form, like putting up his typical top 10, top 5s. And look, he has a good track record here at Augusta. He has a 2nd place finish. He has a 3rd place finish. And as you said, there are no holes in Xander Schauffele's golf game. So he is a guy that I really think can put it together. And of all the top guys, I still think he has the best price available at this current moment of time. I believe you could still get him at 18 to 1 at DraftKings. That is a number I would take advantage of because the rest of the odds board kind of stinks at the moment. So if you're looking to grab a number right now, it's probably on Xander. So hopefully, I would love to see Xander, Fitz, Rahm, Adam Scott, one of those 4. That would be awesome. I think you both agree with me there. But before we go, I want to close it out with a bit of a fun one. Ryan, I'm going to start with you. If you won the Masters and you were curating your own Champions Dinner menu, appetizers, entrees, desserts, what are you serving?
Well, Casey, I've been on, I think me and maybe probably a lot of America has been on I've been on a hot honey kick of recent. So my appetizer, I think would be, and I've also, this may be a little bit healthier, but I think I would do like hot honey balsamic Brussels sprouts. I don't know why. I've been loving Brussels sprouts recently and I love the hot honey mix with it. So that'd be my appetizer. It's probably going to be a little bit boring, but I'm like, I don't know what it is. I could eat chicken every single day, all day for the rest of the year. So I'd have some sort of a marry me chicken as the entree, just like a creamy sun-dried tomato dish in there. And then as my dessert, banana is like literally my favorite flavored everything. And I just can't stop. Me and Casey went to Magnolia Bakery about a year and a half ago today. And that banana pudding is just like to die for. So my dessert would just be some sort of banana pudding. There's a place in Hoboken where I live too that I have not gotten to try the banana pudding at, but it also is supposed to be unbelievable. So those would be my 3 items on the list. So that's where I'm at.
Kenny, have you ever had Magnolia Bakery?
So
I have
good.
not.
So good.
When you come to NYC, the next time you do, we're going to take you for some good food,
That sounds good to me.
and some good libations to go along with that.
All right, I'm always a fan.
What are you serving up?
I'll probably go with like a mixture. I'd probably do like maybe for an appetizer, maybe like assorted sushi, like sashimi and nigiri, and then probably like a hamachi crudo, which is one of my favorites. It's like a thinly sliced yellowtail with a little bit of jalapeno on top, maybe some citrus, like a slice of orange, also topped off with like a citrus soy, a ponzu sauce. That would probably be something that I would like, and then I'd maybe go the other side of the spectrum for an app and maybe do like roasted bone marrow with like some chewy garlic bread that you can just scoop and then spread on. I think that would be something, a good way to start the meal. For me, I think
Just
for
a nice way to wet the palate a bit.
Yeah.
A great way to wet the palate here.
Yeah. And I think for an entree, I'd probably do like a fish and a beef. I would probably feature like Korean short ribs, like LA ribs, like you get at the Korean barbecue, marinated in soy, garlic, mirin. My mom uses Coca-Cola to soften up the texture of the ribs. Grill them, nice little char. Probably also do maybe like a whole crispy flounder. I'm a big Thai food guy, right? I'd probably like dredge the top in rice flour, bottom in cornstarch, make your little slits so it doesn't like curl up, flash fry it, top it with a little bit of Thai chilies and maybe like a tamarind sauce that you can spread on top of it. And, I like those. I like the whole fish and I like scoring it so you can just take huge square flakes right off the bone of the flounder. And then I'd probably have assorted Korean side dishes. Like if you go to a Korean barbecue, you get all those side dishes, the kimchi, the radish kimchi, the pickled onions, the pickled lotus root, all that stuff. I would probably make that as a main. And then for my dessert, I'm a creme brulee slut. Like I fucking love creme brulee. It is my thing. I get it everywhere I go. Like there's nothing better than getting your spoon, just cracking that fucking sugar top. It's like the best. So it would probably the best creme brulee I ever had was probably like a passion fruit creme brulee because it had that acidity added onto it with that, sweetness that you get. So it's a nice blend of acid and sweet. So it's not just cloyingly sweet in your taste buds. If you could tell, I used to be a server. So I explain food pretty well. But that would probably be my 3-course meal.
I mean, I'm now salivating at the mouth here. My girlfriend's laughing to herself in the background because she knows I love every single one of the items you just listed. There's no food I will ever say no to, and I love fucking Korean barbecue and Korean food. But
I was gonna say, I hope you win the Masters before I win the Masters because you're way better than
if we ever meet up, I'll take you to a nice restaurant. That's one of my favorite things to do in life. Take friends to a nice restaurant. I usually end up having to pay because it's very difficult to get your buddies to go out and spend $400 on a meal. Right.
If there's one thing I always spend money on, it is great food, great company, and even better, like conversation. One thing I absolutely love is going out for a good meal with good friends and just taking matters into my own hands, ordering for everyone. Everyone's going to leave the table very satisfied, very full, and they're going to probably leave with a stomach ache because they laughed their ass off.
Well, the thing about it is food creates memories.
Exactly.
Like when you look back at like all the signature events like in your life, a lot of it usually revolves around food.
Right.
Bringing people together. People coming together, barbecues, grills, nice restaurants. That's how memories are made. And so I'm a big food guy when it comes down to it.
I mean, your menu sounds absolutely delicious. And I would tell you with 110% certainty that I would attend the Masters dinner served in honor of Mr. Kenny Kim. I will tell you that. For myself, I'm probably just an asshole here. And look, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know how to cook well, but I've got a damn good palate. They ran a study on me in college where my taste buds ranked in the 99th percentile, apparently, because
I guess you don't smoke.
I used to in college. But my taste buds were able to discern Coke and Pepsi 9 out of 10 times. And apparently if you could do that,
that's easy.
You have that's what I thought too, but they said, no, you're in the 99th percentile. I was like, all right, sure. I'll hang that on my head and wear it. But appetizers, we're going to start off with some baked clams from Don Pepe's in Queens, some crispy fried chicken and jumbo stone crabs from Joe's in Miami. For entrees, you're going to get some shrimp Luciano from Don Pep's, a veal chop Antonio from Emilio's Bellotto, and a bone-in Cajun Colorado ribeye with extra crispy hash browns and cream spinach from Brian and Cooper. And for dessert, keep it simple, stupid. My favorite key lime pie from Joe's Stone Crab. And we're going to have some dirty martinis, slightly dirty, some good wine to mix in with that, maybe even a reposado on the rocks, pack a punch or two, and you'll probably be on the floor by 2 a.m.
Joe's Stone Crab's one of my favorites. They own the market for stone crabs. When you get stone crabs at another restaurant, it's Joe's boats that got it. Like nobody else gets stone crabs except Joe's, and they're the ones that sells it to everybody else. And of course, they pick the best for themselves.
It's my favorite restaurant in the whole world, just because, look, there's plenty better restaurants. One, I love that type of food. Mm-hmm. 2, as you said earlier, it's a memory thing for me. Like a lot of just fond memories there, and it's just the ambiance is great. It's a South Beach institution.
I go to the one in DC all the time.
Yeah, I was actually at the one in DC in June. I had a wedding in Alexandria, so I didn't have anything to do during the day. I walked around all of DC for 2 hours. I was like, all right, I saw what I needed to see.
If you ever do that again, hit me up.
I definitely will. And had an unbelievable lunch at Joe's, just by myself at the bar, martini, just right before a wedding. It was perfect.
Last time I went, I had the Dover sole where they fillet it for you on the table and cut all the bones out. It's great. And I think I started with a seafood tower with a bunch of shrimp and stone crabs and lobster and crab cocktail. It was good shit.
You cannot go wrong at Joe's. But anyways, I want to close out for the night. Kenny, Ryan, want to thank you both for coming on tonight. Had a good time. Follow them on Twitter. Kendo VT. Ryan, I always forget what your ad is, but you'll plug whatever. What do you guys have to plug? And any closing remarks as we head into the Masters?
Go ahead,
Ryan. No, I got no closing remarks. I'm excited. This probably is the most golf that I'll watch in a weekend, so I'm pumped to get some bets. We got a couple out of the stream. Just for myself, I'm at @R_born22 on Twitter, so you can maybe you'll remember it eventually, Casey. And then if you're line shopping or figuring out any of your bonuses, just check out Pikkit Sports. We've got this basically how I found all my plays that I was talking about tonight, just comparing the lines across all the different sportsbooks that we have. So check them out. Follow them on Twitter too at Pikkit Sports. But yeah, that's all I got. This is fun. I always love coming on, talking here and hearing a different side of betting from what I typically do.
Yeah, you can find me on X at Kendo VT. Make sure to watch my show. It's on the Mayo Media Network on YouTube. It's Fantasy Golf Degenerates. It was a really good show this week. A lot of information. Byron, my co-host, is a genius. He's super sharp. So make sure you go check that out.
I could attest to that. I do listen to it every single week before I build my betting card. So if you haven't checked that out, highly recommend you do before you build your Augusta card. Kenny, Ryan, this was awesome. Appreciate you both coming on, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck.